We're back on Tallahassee's #1 Thursday morning political talk show. Got two guests with me today, experts in the process. We've got Katie Webb of Colodny Fast, and we have Ron Sachs from Sachs Media Group. Experts that know how the process works, how public relations work, how government affairs works, and I want to rely on your expertise to sort of give some context and some flavor, some analysis to this ongoing saga that involves Senator Jack Latvala. He has, the latest in that story is that he has continued to put up a vigorous defense, and in so doing has triggered a complaint from Senator Lauren Book, who says that some of the defense tactics that he has used have gone too far and have violated the Senate rules and the process that the Senate has set up to protect the accusers in the case. So with that in mind, what I want to ask, and the first thing that comes to mind for me, and I'll ask you first, Katie, the notion that this complaint by Lauren Book sort of gives the Senate an out, and enables them to perhaps attempt to expel the senator without even hearing the sexual harassment complaint. Do you think that's possibly what's in the works right now?
Is that a possibility for them to take up her complaint without addressing the other one?
Yeah, I mean, can it be done, first of all? Is that the rules, the way it's set up in the complaint, would the complaint provide the mechanism for that first and foremost?
It could. I don't think it will. The initial complaint by Rachel Perrin Rogers has already made its way through some of the process. There's been a special master appointed to investigate that particular complaint. And I don't envision a circumstance where the Senate would neglect to address that in lieu of taking up Senator Book's complaint. But there are now two complaints, so they are independently making inquiries into each of those, and the Senate could address them at the same time or address them separately.
Do you have any inkling of the timing on any of this? We've got a lot of folks looking at the calendar right now, and you've got a session starting in January, and you've only got a couple of weeks here before the holidays. Is there any sense or any word on the street, so to speak, about when all this might come to a head or when they might be able to get to some of this business?
Well, some of the latest statements that have been made by people in Senate leadership indicate that it's not going to be until January, at some point in January. My just estimation would be that it would probably be within the first week or two of session that they would try to.
Wouldn't it have to be? I mean,
yeah, for them to get on with
the business of
what
Senate,
they're doing,
right?
Then that would make the most sense, I would think. But I also believe that Senator President Negron, is going to want to make sure that the investigations are thorough and not rush it. So I would guess it would probably be within the first couple of weeks of session.
Ron, you've been a witness to this sort of session stuff going on for years. Nothing like this, or is this unprecedented? Tell me.
Well, I don't think it's unprecedented. I think this kind of behavior that's alleged from Harvey Weinstein all the way down the mountainside of this snowball that's gathering a lot of people and claiming them, this has been going on since men and women first interacted with each other. It's never been right, but this is an era finally when these allegations, when they're true, are leading to the downfall of people who abuse their power and abuse their position. If they didn't break the law, they broke etiquette and proper behavior standards. In the legislature, it's a little bit different, clearly with Senator Latvala. He has a right to defend himself and to follow whatever process is out there. There's no disputing this has been a huge distraction for the several weeks it's been going on. But if you're the accused person, you have a right to defend yourself and to avail yourself of that process. In other sectors, like the private sector, there might be an option for someone to suspend themselves until this is cleared up. Or if you had an illness, to basically take a leave of absence. I don't know if that's something that's operational here, but he is defiantly and appropriately, if he's innocent, defending himself, and for all the years he's put into public service, he has a right to do that. It's unfortunate that both sides have kind of engaged in tactics that are attracting attention, and this story continues to get legs and grow when it should be the public policy business that the legislature is going to have to deal with in early January that takes the focus. And leadership probably is trying very hard to focus on those kinds of priorities and not this.
Yeah, unlike the private sector, there's a political element here. There's a political element that's at play. You have the facts and the fact-finding mission. You've got the special master looking into this whole thing. But aside from all of that is the very real impact of the political angles that are at play. Jack Latvala had a Senate seat in the Appropriations Committee, very powerful seat, as you mentioned. He's been removed from that, and it wasn't something that was voluntary like it should be maybe in the private sector where you could remove yourself from that. But in this case, because of the political angles, there's so many different interests all at work, and the fact that it's not being resolved maybe as fast as a private sector thing is tending to sort of hurt things a little bit more than they would.
Many people have already made a rush to judgment on this and suggested or really admonished him for not resigning. That's an opinion people have a right to share, but he has a right to hang on and defend himself and to avail himself of the process. Nobody's happy with the situation, and it's taking longer than maybe it would in some other sector, as I said, but this is the process that's established. We're proud to have worked with Senator Book's foundation, Lauren's kids, and we've been familiar with these issues a long time. And I think it's a terrific thing as a father of 3 young adult daughters that we're in an era now where this behavior that has gone on for centuries is no longer tolerable.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about that in just a minute, but when we come back, we're going to ask how this has impacted the entire process, men and women in the legislature and in the process throughout the city of Tallahassee who deal with the policy issues every day. We'll be right back after this.